objecting to it. I just think that it's weird.
I swear, everyone, every other day, Atlas like this movie with Hugh Jackman. You gotta see. It's a musical. It's great.
And I mean, I love. Everyone loves Hugh Jackman.
Well, yeah, I'm also not complaining. It's paying a compliment. To great. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was actually talking to Dan about Australia, the Baz Luhrmann film. Was that Dan? No, that was you. That was you.
Yeah, that was well.
I walked the same direction with both of you today, and so like my memories are getting a little bit.
That is confusing.
A bit muddled.
That'll get you.
And the last series certainly did a number on the old brain. That's okay. Vi and Gwen, understandable bans. The Xin Zhao actually sitting on the ban list, though, is an interesting addition here for DRX.
So we are going to B1 Azir. That's happening. Do we ban Kalista? I think we can let Kalista open. But I think they might... I think they will ban it. As there we go. Duro and Ruler have both been solid. Duro, particular, has really gone kind of to the point where I think hoped he'd be. He's not the best support in the LCK, but he is very, very solid. He's been performing well, and he's been performing up to the level that we knew he could, which he showed in Challengers, which in the LCK Cup, you didn't really see yet. No-brainer. You know, you might look at this and go, wow, Azir, then Chovy's going to play any of Silas or Akali or Cork. It doesn't matter. It's Chovy. Find a counter pick as Keen in pure excitement. Maybe gets to lock in a fun champion. There's Jace. There's Rumble. That's the two.
There's Jace and Rumble.
Oh, again?
You just do it.
That. Yeah, do it. Do it. Chovy plays something fun again.
Well, this is Nefiri, so we're not going to see at least the combination. And I imagine Gen.G are probably keen to grab something a little bit more tanky in this lineup as well. That being said, I just don't feel like it's going to happen. I think that one of either Jace or Rumble are going to be locked in for Keen in this rotation. Otherwise, you do leave both of them up and available, and that is dangerous. The Rumble will be the decision. Rich is going to pick Jace, guys. That's what's going to happen.
That's what should happen. We'll see if Rich sticks to the plan.
I'm riding it. Committed. In pen.
Chase Poppy?
Ooh, Jace Poppy feels fantastic.
Jace Poppy feels great. You get the combo with Azir.
Flex the Poppy as well.
Yeah, it's good into Nefiri. We're playing Skarner. Are they afraid of like Skarner jungle Nefiri mid? Because I get Skarner and Rumble, that's a really good combo, but...
Never punished, by the way.
I would have loved
the riding it in early. Yeah, the Poppy would have been such a good idea.
Oh god, Gen.G is not messing around. Oh no.
Okay, that's an Ahri.
That's a mid-jungle 2v2 that I would not be on the receiving end of. Kenyon, Chovy, Ahri, Nefiri.
Yeah, and in fact, even their top jungle 2v2 is looking pretty scary as well. So, Ucal and Rich certainly going to have to be on their best behavior, especially considering the fact that Sponge is not likely to be doing anything too crazy early, unless he does a Pyoshik, where he's flashing over walls, turning Chronicler into Mickey Mouse, and then finding ganks in the early game.
Yeah, just the early game. I don't want to talk about the mid game. That was
what mid game?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Alistair, banned away, might still look towards that Poppy just in support instead of picking it early on in the draft.
Yeah, I don't think DRX are too worried about leaving the Poppy up either, because Skarner can still engage pretty reliably without having to worry about it, as we know. It's just like heroic charges and things like that that can be quite annoying. As the Rakan going to be taken away.
Why did they want to play that they banned Rakan?
Yeah, I find that a bit odd.
Well, they can just slam Ezreal here on 4 and then kind of see where they want to go. Maybe just the Undo counter ban. Wanted to go for Spore counter pick.
Yeah.
And afraid that if they don't ban Rakan, they don't want to pick Rakan on 4, and then if DRX ban Poppy instead of Nautilus, then the Rakan gets a lot of value. Could see that being consideration. As Duro.
Ooh.
Jhin, yeah, Jhin or Ezreal, either work.
Ruler back on Jhin duty feels a little bit sad, because Jhin feels a little bit more utility focused, and we know that Ruler does like to be the main character, but once again, not going to be the main character. Does it bother you that you can only see 3 of Jin's fingers
instead of
on his gun instead of 4 on his Jhin?
Yeah, It's very upsetting.
It's a little
I
bit
actually
dumb.
hadn't noticed until you pointed it out, and now I'm very upset.
Yeah, does it make you upset? That's good.
Yeah.
Because that was the goal, is to make you upset. Are you guys upset as well in chat? Let me know.
Well, your goal is to make me upset, not chat, I hope.
I was just wondering whether maybe it also overflowed.
Well, I just hope that you want to entertain our viewers. I've already accepted that you want to anger me. That's just
There's
how it
some in
goes.
chat that are probably entertained by the fact that some of chat are also annoyed.
That is how it goes.
Yeah.
Is Leona locked in?
Maybe everyone wins and no one at the same time. As Leona is going to be locked in, like you were saying. So what is going to be Duro's counter pick?
I'm not excited about like a Brom here. Oh my yeah, either of those would work. I like the Elise more, I think. But they're both all in early supports. We are just playing to stomp the lane early. Poppy also makes sense for Duro. Gets to block the Leona, gets to block the engages from the Azir. And the Poppy is a great takeaway. Like you deny it for future drafts. Something that you always have to consider with Fearless.
Did he just really enjoy it in the military?
Or he's just a fan that is ready to throw it all down if it gets him the win.
That's actually very, very cool. It's quite a bet. It's all right. Let's jump out of the rift, see whether they can send him to the military.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
I appreciate it for the 07s in chat, ladies and gentlemen, but you may not necessarily need them. If Gen.G wins here, he will not be required to go to military service again.
It's not often that you see someone go in with more stake than their hair bet, but this is like, you know, this is not an even
That's like
matchup.
2 years of your life.
Yeah, no, it's like it's not close.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to regrow your hair? Like
2 months.
2 months?
My hair grows really fast.
Well, you also do other
Many
stuff
hundreds.
while your hair regrew.
Yeah.
I assume. Did I see you during the period? No,
I did not a lot of going out in public because I was very upset about my hair being short. It's not actually true. Everything was kind of fine. So never mind. It's actually 18 months in Korea for military service. So never mind. Year and a half. Still bad.
Still.
Yeah, still way worse than the hairbed situation.
Still long.
And it was also towards the end of a season, and so I had the grand reveal at the final, and then I got a bunch of time off, and so by the time I was back, it was basically grown. So
I remember that.
really was not exactly the most ridiculous. As UCal trading quite nicely here with Chovy in this early game. And I think I'm going to be mainly looking towards the top side. I want to see how well Rich can do in this matchup versus Keen's Rumble. We've seen this one kind of go back and forth. Oftentimes, you do like generally see the Jaces finding leads. Some of our Rumbles have really been able to play the matchup out well. So Keen might be the guy that can do that.
Rumble for me has become the equivalent to like, I'm trying to think of a, it's like Sejuani, where like I get why you pick it, but the last time I saw this champion hard carry is a long time ago.
Rumble?
Yeah.
Wasn't it last week that she like pentakilled on it?
Yeah, but the panic kill was like, you got a panic kill, but the game was already over before that.
Yeah, but that was because she was playing really, really well before that.
It was fine, but...
That's true, though. I think I understand the vibe that you're getting, because right here, we're seeing exactly why. You just don't do as much damage.
It used to be that Rumble would also stomp every lane, which I think has kind of soured our perception of him, now that he no longer does that.
Yeah.
But it's still Rumble. There's a very obvious reason as to why you play him. Is we just get to watch Chovy and UCal lane, and UCal, not having the best of time, did just pop his potion a little later, but it's mostly the mana that he's not doing too hot in.
Yeah, Chovy certainly utilizing the blue stuff a little bit more effectively. As we're having a look at the loss streak here for the Skarner, 6 in a row. As 2 of those names being Lucid does mean that, you know, that's curious. Has never really been a Lucid-flavored champion, though, to be honest.
And I can still remember him having great moments in those games, but also moments where he would just go in and kind of die.
Yeah.
Post-nerfs,
That's with the silence. Rich going to boop him back a little bit late.
This is all set up for the dive, though, so as long as he doesn't die, it's worth it.
Yeah. Sponge going to get slowed down momentarily, just smashes for the wallbang, and that is going to be first blood going over to Rich. Very comfortably done, as there's no cannon left here, nothing to tank up that wave, so that is also going to go. Keen going to be respawning 3 seconds That wave is dead as he pops up.
Clean gank from Sponge, nothing to note. Rich with Electrocute, by the way, we haven't highlighted this yet, but Electrocute Jace into Rumble, so really just looking to, I imagine, go full lethality and try to maximize the damage. Sets this up. Keen doesn't really get to play the game. Not much he can do. Good that he holds onto his flash. Sponge with a perfect flash E. There's not really any counterplay you can do. You can try to predict it, but if you fail, then obviously it's a bit of a disaster as Undo. Unfortunately, also on his receiving end of a bit of a disaster. Is Duro going to be very happy about that trade.
Yeah, nicely played. Teddy just calmly waiting for his minions to head towards him. And DRX with a little bit of a gold advantage.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Yep. That's a stat that doesn't look great for the narrative
So,
that I want to sell.
It's really interesting because we've seen a lot of teams pick Skarner into Neferi, but then every time I see the Neferi hit like a couple of bleeds, oh, Duro.
Yeah, Duro looking for the angle. He won't get the stun, but moves Rich back into danger. Andel's moving up though, and maybe they can turn it. Another crash from Sponge, and Duro's just dead. 16! That might be the maximum. DRX might be looking to end it right there. It's 5.5 minutes into the game, Max.
I didn't want to kill your. I didn't want to steal your fun, or I didn't want to kill your vibe.
Reality crept into my dream.
I'm glad, because I was good. Oh, Chovy might have to ult. Yep.
In a second. Ulti going to be used from UCal here as Chovy wanting to turn it. Man, pretty happy to just go straight into the Azir, but Sponge being able to get the smite out, the flash out of him. And on the other side, the Pigeon not so lucky. Another Charm actually hitting max range. Ruler with the follow-up, and there's an equalizer down. Sponge is dead. Oh God, I spoke way too soon.
Well, Atlas, that one's not on you. I'm not going to let people claim caster curses for that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are real, Chronicler, and I am the one that is to blame.
Or
responsible.
Were we just talking about Gen.G versus DRX? And Gen.G, some laning mishaps. Duro gets punished for an attempt to play.
I just sent that guy to military. Oh, wait, no, he's gonna. If they win, he's going to military, and that's fine, and he's gonna be happy. So it's
Atlas,
okay. I don't have that on my conscience.
I'm assuming he was also talking about the series, not just the game.
Oh, okay.
I think you're okay. As
I think
Duro
we'll probably still just take a game.
Goes in, doesn't actually get the slam into the wall, which means that Rich is completely fine. Nicely timed arrival from Ando and Sponge. But then here, we look for the play on Chovy. And Ruler is just there. I want you to look at how much damage this, jokes aside, this Jin does. Because it is, over the course of this fight, quite a lot. Also sets up nicely. It's Chovy with perfect charm, the W, and then that final auto from Ruler after the equalizer from King comes in.
Yeah.
Clean fight there from Gen.G. DRX trying to do a little bit too much. And I don't know about trying to ult an Ahri. I don't see it. Unless you get the, if you get like the ult into immediate wall slam, that's a hard timing, Atlas. Rich is 2-0 though. That's nice.
Yeah,
something.
And we know that the Jace is definitely going to be a win condition here for DRX. And if Rich is feeling himself on a given day, then he can certainly find some angles.
It does pop off sometimes out of nowhere.
He's definitely a vibes player, and the vibes have not been great on DRX's side, so we haven't seen very many good things from Rich. As Sponge is going to make his way in. There's the interrupt, as Sponge has to move out of the wall very awkwardly and slowly, as Chovy avoids the dive extraordinarily well.
Kenny was in the area as well, so I don't even know if it really would have led to too much. UCal, meanwhile, on the other end of the map, is facing off against Keen. Actually, you like that. Don't mind that swap too much, because that makes it a lot harder for Keen. But I feel like Rich was doing well in the 1v1, and he definitely can't really punish Chovy. He might get punished though, and he does have a bounty.
Yeah, that's Duro just going for the pushback as the charm has to be flashed. Still getting the flash, pretty important here for Gen.G as well, as they are taking down the dragon at the same time. Everything's sort of done for a reason, is what it feels like here in this early game for Gen.G. Xandal moves back to the mid lane, but honestly just here to pick up some experience, wanting to get that level 6. As Deadly Flourish will be avoided. But 3 grubs and the Drake is not something that Gen.G should really be able to take just for free. However, that is indeed exactly what happened.
Getting a little worried, Atlas. I feel like we're on a Gen.G pace.
Yeah.
And you know who wins? And really this applies to any team in the world when we're on Gen.G pace.
Gen.G?
That's what they've done for the last, what is it, 3 years?
Yeah.
Starting 2022.
Yep, when they're at home, that's generally how that one goes. I mean, the LCK final was...
They lost the most recent one, but it was by 1 game. You know, it wasn't really comparable to obviously the struggles
Same thing
that
could be said,
faced.
actually, as far as the LCK Cup is concerned.
Yeah, yeah. And it's very clearly between them and Honma Life right now, right? T1 slowly figuring their things out. DK is just DK, so
Yeah.
I'm sure they will play great series against whichever team they end up facing and then lose in a beautiful manner.
How are you going to react when KT breaks the Gen.G perfect round robin by winning?
Knew it all along, called it from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm not going to predict it because I need to do my part.
I think I'm just going to be annoyed.
Because it's so obvious.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating because it also, you're not allowed to then think, oh, KT must be good. No. It won't have any bearing on anything at all.
Yeah, I'm not annoyed by this because I don't have an actual emotional attachment. I think there's a part of you that's still...
Oh, yeah, no, I do. It's largely emotional.
When it comes to KT.
Yeah.
It's KT, it's Deft, and it's Barrel for you.
Well, Sponge is looking to try and deny the perfect grubs. That does indeed come in. As Keen moving on over, wanted to charge that heat up, does manage to do so. As now Teddy in a pretty safe spot, as that is a 2-man on the Impale. Duro just flashes away though on the Equalizer. Walk down here by Andal, he can't go back in again as Canyon goes untargetable for the moment. As that's a teleport in from Chovy, gets into that backline, misses the charm, but that doesn't matter. Down goes the Jace as Ruler is going to cleanse away any sort of stuns that are coming in. And Andal thrown around like a ragdoll entirely here. And we'll just get barbecued in the backline. Gen.G just seemingly immortal in this team fight. Teddy and Yukal left alive but unable to do any damage.
DRX went way too deep. It didn't need to. Could have just pieced out. I'll let it go.
Yeah, they managed to get a couple of the grubs. That would have been fine.
Yeah, it would have. So we take another look. Q play there from Sponge. Can't believe he gets Keen as well. But the damage follow-up isn't really there. If Rich was also dumping a full combo onto Keen or Duro there, maybe they get the kill. But instead they stick around for a little while. And then here, I think it's because of Yukal's TP. But they could have definitely left there just through mid with Yukal safeguarding them.
Yeah.
And it would have been unfortunate, but fine. But then instead, it ends up being a debacle.
Yeah.
Atlas, that's what that was.
And at the very beginning, Duro just ulted Teddy away. So they just didn't have any damage follow-up as soon as Yukal wasn't in a position to get his Sand Soldiers doing damage.
Chovy missed the charm.
Oh, no.
Unacceptable, really. Worrying signs for Gen.G.
Yeah, still hasn't died, so continuing that no death streak.
Yeah, he also obviously did a really good job in the rest of the fight. I'm just... It's now a 2k gold lead at 13 minutes, Atlas.
Yep, and I'm going to stop thinking about the outcome of the game. I'm starting to see whether DRX can kill Chovy one time.
Okay,
that's going to be their job. I remember this is actually just going back to Chovy's debut.
2019.
Yeah, where like it took him 4 weeks, I think, to die for the first time, 3 or 4. And then he did, and then he had only died once for a really long time, so I had that 120 KDA or something like that, which was absolutely absurd. Maybe that's what we need to focus on for this game, because right now this will be the 6th game in a row. Chovy doesn't die if he stays alive for the rest of
It's
it.
also the 17th.
All right.
For Gen.G versus DRX.
Canyon moving in, Sponge in position. Canyon dives on top of him. The deadly flourish from max range, and goodbye, Mr. Skana. This setup from Gen.G is disgusting.
Ondale looking for a punish, but he don't have the TP. Yuko can't join.
Sidestep. And Canyon is going in, ladies and gentlemen. Solar Flare, and Canyon is out. Once again, that was 3 people. Chovy and Yukel doing battle. Yukel, can you kill him? For the first time in 6 games? Maybe not right now. As Ruler is going to create some curtains.
I love that flash from Yukel. That's great. That's the equivalent of, you know, in a horror movie when it's like, you go, have you seen Cabin in the Woods?
Cabin in the Yes.
The opening scene when they go by the bus station, the guy's like, if you go to the cabin, you will die. And then they're like, whatever. Stop.
Oh, so in this version of the movie, they just turn around and drive home?
Yeah, Yukel's the guy that's like,
all right, peace.
hell no, I'm not, no part of this. I want out, and just flashes and leaves.
Yeah.
Good for you, Yukel.
Doesn't get as many ratings in the box office or things like that.
Doesn't make for an entertaining movie.
No.
But he's alive.
Yeah, he is. And that's why there's no movies about Yukel in a cabin in the woods. Because he just got out of there. Canyon got into the enemy jungle, and he is going to take away a bunch of Sponge's stuff.
I love seeing Canyon on Neferi, because if you really think about it, Neferi is just Graves with extra steps. And I feel like Canyon wants to be Nidalee or Graves every
Oh god, I've seen this before. As Rich was there, I promise everyone, he was there. He's not anymore.
Duro,
Oh.
he's been stepping it up. It's good to see.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's also easy to play support when all of your lanes are winning always. It's like it's a chain reaction, right?
Yeah.
This is always such a... It's the same as being Faker's jungler.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I feel like after, like, what, 3 years now, we're finally like, okay, Owner is actually good. We can say it. It's okay. It's fine. But it's kind of the same here, because Duro can legitimately also, being Puppey, just run from lane to lane, where his laners, because they're winning, has pushed in the opposing laner, and then you just slam in the wall and they die. And Canyon's just power farming while all of this is going on. It's not fair.
Well, DRX think that they can go for an objective. That's what they're going to look at right now. But in the meantime, let's have a look at what Duro's getting up to. As, Sponge can't hit the ultimate on an untargetable target.
No. It's okay. We don't need this. Alna's like, I'm here!
I'm helping, friend. As Rich,
It's
he's
like,
just having a giggle. He's like,
can't be mad.
I can't really do anything about that. As, oh god, yeah.
Okay, he can do something about this. He's very far off.
He can't, well, not now. Now he can't do anything about it because he's too far up. And so we're going to have to repeat the player cam. It is going to net them a Rift Herald, so that's something. But still, Gen.G very happy with the game state right now.
Oh, you can't even really engage because Poppy's there. So you need to deal with Status Presence, you need to deal with the ultimate. Ruler can just open up.
He could almost die as well as he's impaled, and Canyon comes in. Ruler is fine. Never mind. Duro's now coming down. Canyon continuing the fight here as the curtains are being called. Teddy is going to be his target. Decides to put a few bullets into Sponge as well, and Ruler picks it up with the last one. That is indeed curtains for Sponge, and you can't even blame him. This guy, I think that like in individual moments, this Ghana has looked really good. But he's 0-3, and it doesn't matter.
This is truly the final evolution of Ruler, where he's like, why should I have to do all the work?
Yeah.
And he just locks Jin, and he's like, oh, look, no. Oh, no, I'm autoing the ward. No, don't attack me. And then he just flashes out, walks it up. And look at that. He's like, yep, I'm safe. Set up the ultimate. Serve him up, boys. I don't want to do all that kiting. I don't want to do any work.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about it like it's like, oh, it's not the main character syndrome that he's had his whole career. No, this is just the epitome of main character syndrome.
He's just lounging by the pool.
Yeah, I do not even have to do anything. Please, another Mai Tai, my friend.
Oh, please, serve me another kill. Oh, another.
Yeah.
Oh, inevitably. Please.
As long as they're in multiples of 4 in this particular game.
Yeah, he's off on that. Needs 2 more kills. Oh no, poor Ruler. Will he get... Atlas, this game is cooked.
It is looking pretty cooked. Well,
so, any shows you've been watching recently?
Yeah, I've been watching Slow Horses.
I've heard it's
really good.
Really good. I haven't I haven't seen
I'm a big fan of like English espionage
that's
shows.
the one with Gary Oldman, right?
Yeah, and Gary Oldman is the most disgusting human being ever, and I love it.
Sounds great.
And he's one of my favorite actors of all time. I think he probably is my favorite actor. It's hard because I've got so many, but still. Canyon now looking for a bit of an angle.
I'm not gonna lie, memes aside, I actually thought it was you, Jack.
No.
He does musicals.
Yeah.
I love musicals.
Yeah, and I love Hugh Jackman. He's just not my favorite.
Okay, that's fair.
It's all right. Sponge just going to be wandering away. He is still very tanky. As Rich is now going to join, Canyon is not as healthy as he otherwise could be.
He needs more creeps, okay? He's behind.
Yeah.
That's not okay. He has less creeps than his top lane. Come on, Canyon. I know he wanted to go in and go back. Doesn't do it. What a cowardly dog.
But he is an alive dog, so there's that. As Andil, deadly flourish, not really doing too much. As the Rift Herald has now been put down, we got a big old zoom out. I don't necessarily know what this means because there's only 3 members of Gen.G in this mid lane trying to defend this.
Chovy TP angle?
Yeah, potentially.
He TP's to the wave though, no? Unless he wants to. Oh, yeah, okay. I was about to say.
Yeah.
DRX, you got this. You got this!
Oh, Yukao. I don't know what that was, but it looked kind of funny. As all right, they have managed to knock away the jungler, but they've killed the Azir. And now this is looking so deadly. Oh my goodness. Rich gonna get taken out there as Canyon makes Teddy just watch while the bleed is set. Oh, one last tick, and that is enough to take him down. Heartbreaking here for the 80 carry of DRX. And Gen.G, they've got a smorgasbord of things that they can take, and I think the Dragon is going to be on that list.
Oh, Yukal, no. Yukal, no. Ruler doesn't have flash. That play makes sense if you get him.
He was a long way away from getting.
It was really, yeah, no, he was not. It was not that close.
Oh, hang
Rich.
on.
A man with a dream.
Maybe this was all for this moment instead, as Keen is going to be able to... Oh no, oh no, oh no, he's just dead. The Impale is going to get stopwatched as well by Keen. And now Sponge is getting blended. Okay, Yukal goes in. Doesn't have Emperor's Divide because he used it before. And Sponge, no! Oh god, thank goodness Yukal's actually able to grab the kill, but I don't know whether it was worth it. And by I don't know, I mean it was not worth it, ladies and gentlemen. Slammed into the wall and destroyed. The poor pigeon kind of hit by a freight train here. And Gen.G will now take the dragon.
If that was a kill on Chovy, I call worth. But it wasn't. Chovy's still not dead, by the way. Chovy flashes. Ruler is just out of range.
I was wondering how you were going to say it. And
yeah,
you know what? That's the best way to say it.
It was just not. It was not in range. Yukal, I've been, with the bleed as well. The final tick. That's just. It doesn't matter for the game.
No.
And then here, Rich is like, I've seen all these other Jaces be so tanky. Not him. Keen just toasts him in seconds. And then, yeah, Keen's Rumble, I take it back. Okay, it's every bit as scary. I think DRX are making it look scarier as well. They have not heeded the good advice.
No.
And then, yeah, the fact that Yukal dies here, it doesn't... DRX, they're going for Hail Marys. The Hail Marys aren't working as they shouldn't.
They got Keen.
They did get Keen.
That's all I got.
Chovy has a 4-stacks Magi.
Canyon is looking to kill Rich again. That equalizer was unnecessary, Keen. We did not need to do that. It's okay. Canyon just going to dash over that one. Find some daggers there as well. Is now just going to avoid the Impale very comfortably. And yeah, DRX cannot catch a break.
I remember seeing a few of the games that Canyon played on the Neferi, and I think it was like the first two didn't look that great.
No. This one looks pretty good.
He looks so... yeah.
He's really, like...
It makes sense.
A lot of play on the edge as well, and I feel like that's the best look for Neferi.
It is, and it's in theory, it is a Canyon champion, right? It's an it's an 80, big 80 threat.
And it's a hands champ as well. Yeah.
It's a hands champ, exactly. So it makes sense that he'd be good at it. I just feel like before we didn't really see that. We're seeing it in this game, although this game is also a bit of a, maybe not the fairest representation, as it's a 10k gold lead now.
24 minutes into the game. I would say that things aren't necessarily going DRX's way, but If the last
Rich.
series taught us anything,
Rich is down 2 levels to the enemy jungle, Atlas.
oh, yeah, he's also down in farm to the enemy jungler.
Well, that's normal. It's Canyon. I'm not going to hold that against him.
His
but-
jungler though is down 3 levels, so
Yeah.
speaking of levels, 2-level advantage for Chovy as well.
Can Canyon just solo? I guess he can, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. Food for thought. So, made anything interesting for dinner recently?
Me? No, not really. Not a lot of cooking being done at this point in time.
We're in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
That is when we're all kind of like
And, you know, I could, like, feel lazy for that, but just the food options around my house, around my place, because we live in a real old person area, so there's so many really, really good food restaurants.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. And often, like, we call it, my wife and I call it the Ajashi test. If you walk up to a place and there's a bunch of old people, old guys in there,
That's
they're
all
like,
you
they're
need.
sitting around drinking makgeolli and, like, you know, talking about their recent hike that they went on, that's when you know it's the goods, and there's like 11 of them. As we got a bit of a team fight starting off here as Canyon might be engaged on. The Impale did actually work this time, but now he's out of there. And the Leona is just dead. They are all walking on the barbecue, by the way. As there's another explosion. Canyon just goes in, gets back out. Rich is in the bottom lane in the meantime as Teddy's played some DDR, able to actually get out of the way of Chovy as well. Very nicely played. It means about nothing as the Happy Bee is nowhere near the rest of the Gen.G members, and so he's just having a really good time. A natural habitat here for Rich.
Rich must have known the observers were going to highlight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is, he was giggling as that is one of the funniest things I've seen a player do.
Sorry, boys.
Oh, no.
And then the coaches like try and yell at him afterwards. He's like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, at this point in the game, unfortunately, nothing as... Maybe if we throw another ultimate into Kane, he would have died.
Yeah.
Maybe Yuka also should have tried to shuffle him.
This kind of looks like the DRX episode of Will It Blend.
Oh, Will Blend reference. Banger. Teddy does very well at DDR.
Actually, incredibly.
No, actually, he dodges all the shots and then does have to flash for the charm. Otherwise, he would have still died, despite all his heroics. Yeah, so game 2. It's going to be 17. I don't know about 18, but
yeah,
definitely
so
17.
we got it wrong. We were off by 1. I think that's fine.
It happens.
You know? And I think that no one beats DRX 18 times in a row.
Yeah.
And I think, like, Ox can also, he can attest, he can let us know how silly we are, because he's the guy that defined, you know, when things are due. He knew about HLE. We did not. Rich is going to get harpooned and destroyed, and Ruler going to find that 1-2 punch. 4-0-11 now on the Jin. That's neat. Duro now hunting.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, dear. Okay, well, Keen isn't super healthy, all right, there goes the Skana. Teddy is equalized, if you could really say that. Doesn't look very equal to me. Emperor's Divide does next to nothing. My God, this Rumble does so much damage.
Just end the game. Gen.G.
Please, please,
Gen.G.
please.
No, Gen.G. No, okay. Thank you. No pings towards Nash.
No,
Dragon.
they should do Dragon first. Yeah, not Baron. No. That's a little bit too close to trying to win the game. No, never mind. Gen.G are looking to try and close this one out. Curtain call, just to make sure that Sponge cannot do anything. He already couldn't do anything, by the way, as Rich is going to respawn, but the Nexus is not until game 2. Gen.G not going to get upset here today, nor is Chovy going to die. So we're going to make that 6 games in a row.